I've done it! Hi, it's Ryan from Nights Around the Table. I don't know what I've done. I just wanted to show off my lab coat, except this is the first time I've ever worn it. And just as I put it on, I realized my doctor gave this to me, my GP. He was very generous. I was going to use it for a skit that I was going to write, but you know, then I got high. I don't really get high, but just never got around to it. He's apparently a smaller man than I am, so but it's a little bit it's a little bit snug. All right. It's thematic, isn't it? The view count right now for this live presentation is quite low. And you know what? That's fine. I want to stay there because at least where I'm coming from, I'm coming to you from Oshawa, Ontario, Canada, which, as you know, is the epicenter of creativity and imaginative thought in Canada, perhaps the world. It's a beautiful day here, and the only reason that I'm streaming is because I want to get out of yard work. So here I am. Don't tell Cheryl. If you're in chat, though, sound off and I'll say hello to you. What am I doing today? Well, it's funny. Nyan, long ago, it feels like before the pandemic, but I looked it up, and it's not before the pandemic at all. I ordered oh, God, sorry about that. Let's get that out of the way. I ordered this game. No, I didn't order this game. I backed this game. Kickstarter is not a store. They constantly remind us as people abscond with our cash and take 3 years to fulfill things. That's not the case with this. This was a I'm in a goofy mood if you couldn't tell. This is a Kickstarter campaign for a board game called My Father's Work by Renegade Game Studios, whose games I don't own. They're not very well represented in my game collection, so I don't really know what to expect from Renegade, but I had high hopes for this. And like I've told you before, I'm just going to scroll down because there's so few people to tell me if they can actually hear the nonsense I'm spouting. Just making sure my microphone is working. Is this thing on? Squeal. Yeah. So I back this thing, and usually I'm a little bit smarter with my money these days, but this is another example of just a dumb, just spur of the moment purchase. It's always like the smallest thing on a campaign will get me. I'm not backing anything on Kickstarter anymore. First off, I swore off Kickstarter as soon as they announced, oh, everything's going to be crypto. I'm like, well, awesome. You just saved me hundreds of dollars. Who needs that? Oh my goodness gracious. That should be muted. I shouldn't be able to hear that. Hey, it's a Rose Raid. Oh my God. The board game. Oh, hey, Board Game Garden. Weren't we just talking like last Sunday? Weren't you just playing Hadrian's Wall? And then I said I was gonna, and then I didn't. This is the theme. Hey, everybody. What were you guys doing over at Board Game Garden? What were you doing? Hi, Poppy. Good to see you. What was going on? A lot of emojis. You're not going to tell me? This is what's going on right here. I was just about to justify why I spent X dollars on My Father's Work on Kickstarter back when this launched, and that was April of 2021. But it feels like it was launched in the long ago, in the pre-COVID times, in the before times, because it just feels like a long time, but they fulfilled it very quickly. Yes, she was. Yes, we talked about My Father's Work that you are reviewing. I'm not actually, you know what? I rarely review things. I know that word gets repurposed for a lot of reasons, but review to me is just like, I tried this product and I like it / don't like it. And I don't do that a whole lot. I do have a series. Thank you so much for the follow. Sinful Elation. Cool handle. I don't do a lot of reviewing. I have a series called Find the Fun. And there's only a handful of things on there, but that's my review stuff. One of the reasons I don't generally like to review, first of all, I'm paid by publishers to make how to play videos. And so I love being able to offer them a product that's completely editorial free. So you can hire me whether I like your game or don't like your game. It doesn't matter to me. I'll show it off really, really well. And it's up to customers to decide whether they like it. I don't consider myself a very massive tastemaker. And part of it is just because I don't have a lot of confidence in myself. So I think this is busted thinking, and I recognize it, but I think to myself, like, who am I to tell people what's good and what's not good? Who am I? I don't know anything. I'm just a caveman. And I'm getting to a point now. I also felt like there were other people who played far more games than me. Like, I'm going to tell you what to play, and Tom Vassell exists. You know what I mean? He plays like 100 games a day or whatever. Like, who am I? Who am I? I'm a career game designer, damn it. Thank you very much. Been since 2000, designing games and puzzles professionally. That's who I am. I'm Ryan effing Creighton. That's who I am. Dadgummit. It's just, yeah, it's a lack of confidence kind of thing, I think, is what's going on. But, so this isn't a review. This is just going to be me cracking it open. The first thing I wanted to tell you, though, about the box. Did anyone expect it to be like this THICC? Oh, my gosh. Hey, Vortac1, thanks so much for the follow. Look at this thing. This is about the, this is bigger than a baby's arm. Like, it's, I did not expect that at all. And since there's a Kickstarter thing, you're going to flip it over and you're not going to find out too much about the actual game on the back. It's just going to be some nice examples of artwork. I mentioned that there's always seems to be like one thing that makes me back. So the one thing that made me back with this, and then I just like throw my money into the big burning pit. The one thing that made me back, so this is like a mad scientist kind of themed thing. You're like a Dr. Frankenstein type character. And stuff happens. What's that stuff? I don't know. I didn't look too closely. I just looked at the price. I'm like, yeah, that's okay. We won't eat this month. Sure. through my hard-earned cash in it that I barely earned. I mean, I should be saving for retirement, shouldn't I? But what was neat about it to me is it's a game that tells a story, they say, and you do a bunch of mad scientist-y stuff, and then you die. And then your son takes over, and then he dies, and then his son takes over. So your grandson takes over and continues the game in your footsteps. And I think it's like you get to select a power or ability from your predecessor that you get to carry on into the next section or round of the game. That was very compelling to me. I don't know, the word father in there. I'm a fatherless child. I don't know, maybe some of you are like me, but I grew up without a father, so I don't know how compelling that word father in there was for me. But man, the title... Ooh, the title is it's just compelling. It's poetic, it's prosaic, and it kind of reminds me of some of the best named graphic adventure games of all time. I'm big into graphic adventure games, and among my favorites are, now this was based on a short story, but still pretty cool, by Harlan Ellison. I Have No Mouth and I Must Scream. That's a sweet title. And then another one that I really liked was Beneath a Steel Sky. Ooh, isn't that just poetic and evocative of what? I don't know. Well, I guess, yeah, mass over-industrialization. Super cool, though. But shut up, Ryan. Open the box. Here we go. Oh, I'm sorry. I should pay attention to chat. You're arcade, man. Aw, thanks, Poppy. Board Game Garden says, do you have the exact same? What? This is like with a lack of confidence. Your stream looks so nice, Board Game Garden. I gotta say, you've got some really nice. And I joined your stream just, I guess, when you had changed your name, so a few of your hooks weren't working, and I noticed that your chat went on the side. There wasn't any chat in it. I think that's probably because you changed your name. Please go. I'm telling Board Game Garden's audience to go follow Board Game Garden. I had 2 people here. But my people, go follow what they're doing over there because it's lovely. Anyway, I'm sure that when that chat gets stuck at the side of your stream, it looks great. Looks great. I like your design. Great. This is interesting. This is a matte rule book. You don't usually get a matte finish on pages in rule books, do you? I should mention, here's the interesting thing about this. It is an app game, an app-driven game, and I didn't know that before I backed it. And I'm glad that I'm not one of those people who has a huge problem with app-driven stuff, because there are certain people, and there are at least a few people. There's one dude in particular on Board Game Geek who shall remain nameless because I don't know his name, but he just goes around to any listing of a game that's app-driven, and he's like, yeah, it's 0. There's a reason we play board games. We don't want pixels in our technology. I picture him as just like an old grizzled man in a cave, peeing in a jar. I don't know if that's true of him, but yeah, some people are anti-apps for their board games. How do you feel? Are you anti or pro-app? I have a few rules about them. I'll talk to you in a second. Vortex, though, says, we back this, and it's huge. Renegade said that retailers can't get it, but they can sell direct. The game looks amazing. I don't know the difference between that. Renegade can sell direct, right? So you can go to the renegade.com if that's their address. Maybe not. Renegade Games, maybe. I was just there this week. And order directly from them, but not from retail. Good to know. So with the apps, the rule that I have, I swear we'll look at the components in just a second. The rule that I have is, who just followed? I just missed that too. My gosh, I'm so scattershot. I haven't done this in a little while. I haven't streamed in a bit. Rothgar72, thank you so much for the follow. I appreciate that. Sorry I didn't mention your name. Focus, center. my rule for app-driven games, I feel a lot more secure and confident when the app is released on the Windows platform. And I'll tell you why. It's because at that point, it's easily hackable. And I've been playing like Abandonware that came out in like 1983 on my current desktop computer. So I know that as long as it's, you know, if it's in the Apple ecosystem, that's what makes me the most nervous, because I've had stuff that I've released on the Apple App Store, and it's like you got to pay a fee every single year in order for the thing to still be there. And as soon as you stop paying the fee, they take it out of the App Store. Caffeinated Canuck, thank you so much. You're a fellow Canuck, I hope. I hope you're not just culturally appropriating that handle, Caffeinated Canuck. I'm sure you're not. Tell me where in Canada you are, and if you're near Oshawa, we'll play some games together. This is a Thank you so much, DJ MuckV, for the subscription. DJ MuckV joining us from across the pond. It's what I'm trying to say is it's matte. It's not a glossy book. That's all I'll say about the book. Just surprising. I don't know if they save money. Is it cheaper to do matte instead of glossy? And since it's a storytelling game, I don't know what I'm actually allowed to look at, because I don't know if there's secrets. But this is embossed, and it's got gold leaf on it. So it's like I don't know if this is a setup for the board, but it's kind of like those story game books by Plaid Hat, like Forgotten Waters. So a bunch of Talon tokens and things. And yes, I said there's one thing that made me back. There were a couple of things that made me back. Here's another thing that'll just tickle my ivories. Anytime there is a recessed board, I'm just like, ooh, recessed boards. My gosh. Let me look at the chat. Sorry, I'll keep up with you. I'm pro app, says the Board Game Garden. We have so many app games. Mansions of Madness, which I own but I haven't played yet. Is it good? Everyone complains about those bases, and I haven't played, so I don't know what the complaint is. But apparently your guys don't stick in the bases. Mansions of Madness, Alchemist, fantastic game. Highly recommend it. I've got How to Play on the channel. Please check it out. The Search for Planet X. Search for Planet X is an app game? I just got that, and I haven't played it yet. I didn't realize there's an app behind it. Forgotten Waters. And Forgotten Waters I haven't played. I feel really bad because years ago, Plaid Hat sent me a copy of that, and I like to honor that at least by talking about it on a stream. But I asked around, and people were like, yeah, it's like better with 6 players. And like, great, I'll just phone up my COVID. Everybody's dead. Hopefully not. But everybody has to stay in their house at the very least. So my endeavor to get 6 players together to play Forgotten Waters, it was sunk before I even started. I played an app-based game a few weeks ago. I've actually been commissioned to make a How to Play. And remember, I told you that I don't like to editorialize very much, because I don't want people to think like, oh, those people paid him money to do a How to Play video, so he's going to say nice things about it so he doesn't piss them off. Not the case. I'll piss off whoever I want. Darn it. The game is Sea of Legends, and I quite enjoyed it. It was really cool. It was app-based. There were a few spelling mistakes in the app, which is a pretty big turnoff. It's like when you see a cute girl and then she's smoking, that's instant, like, no, get out. You obviously, if any of you smoke in the I'm sorry, but it's just a signal to me that it might be like a brain cell deficiency, because we knew when people started smoking, from the dawn of smoking, we knew that it maybe wasn't the healthiest thing to be doing. And I don't know if you're doing it now. Did somebody force you to smoke when you were 30? I don't know what's happening with smoking. I'm not a big smoking. Right. I like the offset cube action on the board. I thought it was separate. Does it bother you with all your perfect lines and sticky tack? What are we talking about? The offset cube section. Offset cube section. Oh, up here. You mean these are offset from these ones, right? I'm a knoller. Knolling is where you like line things up, like, right. You know, if you watch any Wes Anderson movies, you'll see a lot of knolling going on in those movies. There's got to be a reason why these are offset and put up a little bit from the rest of them. And I don't know what that reason is, but there has to be. That looks like a deliberate decision, and I hope the decision wasn't made. Beertina, thank you so much for subscribing. Welcome back. Good to see you in chat. I hope the reason why these aren't pushed up is because they needed to fit this icon down here, but not on these ones. That would be a pretty cheesy reason. Cool. Let's. So these are the player boards. They look cool. This is your lab. neat. They look neat. I think they're all the same. I don't think they bespeak variable player powers, but they do have different colors in these sections. I'm noticing. Lovely. I'd be playing purple because it's the best color. I actually meant that the whole beige parchment is at an angle. Oh, I see. No. That doesn't bother me at all. No, because it's like, if there's one thing about mad science, let me tell you, Poppy, and you may not know this, not being a mad scientist yourself, like I am, is that it's not an exact science. It's a little messy, is what I'm saying. So if you walk into a mad scientist's lair, like the Knights Around the Table studio, for example, and you just notice that not everything is in neat little piles. I should pan the camera over to my left because you'd be like, oh my god. If you walk into one of our layers and things aren't stacked neatly, it's just because we perform mad science. We're into it, and we're maybe not the most organized folks. These are puzzle pieces. There's another thing. Oh man, this is hitting so many like juicy. I don't know. What is the chemical? Serotonin, dopamine. It's making. Amit, thank you so much for the subscription. Welcome back to chat, Amit. Amit actually pressured me to do this. He's like, "You're gonna unbox that on stream, right?" I'm like, "Yes, Amit. Whatever you say, I'll do as you bid." But I'm happy to. When you haven't streamed in such a long time, it usually takes, when one hasn't streamed, I don't want to say you, but when one hasn't streamed, it usually takes a very long time. It usually takes a very long time to just get the tech working. I really hope that you've been able to hear me this entire time. Then the cameras have been showing something. What is this? This is cool. Is this where what is going on here? This looks like, I know so little about this game. This looks like we're supposed to go through the book and set certain things up in the field, I'm guessing. And the field, I hope, is where bodies can be buried and harvested. I hope. Oh. And these look like the same. Oh, gosh, yes. So here's another thing that's just going ping in my brain. Anytime I see game trays stamped on anything, I'm like, yes, purchase. Please take my money. So Game Trays does these vacuum form trays that fit game components absolutely beautifully. There are imitators. There are other games that I own that have trays that did not hire game trays, and they're fine, but they're no game trays. You know what I mean? Just game trays, the stuff they do is just a cut above. Just a cut above. So let's see what these cut above trays look like. So these are very similar trays to the ones that you would get in, say, the Chokarian Collector's Edition, which are just pure sex magic. They're so good. Lovely, lovely, lovely. I'm not really a mini guy. I don't know about you. I'm not a mini guy myself, but these minis are... Did I pay extra for this? These look like they're... I wish... Hold on. I don't have a close-up camera set up. Oh my god. You have to... It's going to get all blurry if I hold it up. Wait, let's try it. Oh, it's going to look like garbage. Yeah, fuzzy. But these look like they're... What is it called? Sun-dropped, where they splashed a bit of a wash on them. I don't know if I paid extra money for that. I honestly don't know what this all cost me at the end of the day. I just... I guess I bought myself a present a year ago. Great. What's the important thing, Albert? The Board Game Guard says, I failed epically, but it was a lot of fun. I'm not catching up with chat. I have no idea what you guys are talking about. Let me just close this so I can see what's going on. A hype train is close. I don't know what that is. Close the message. Okay, that's fine. I can't see chat with that message in the way. Oh, Frankenstein. I gotta catch up. Smoking's back to, man. Wait. I'll get there. Wait, no. Board Game Guardian, you're not Canadian, are you? That would be cool if you were. Caffeine Canuck says, yes, I am a fellow Canadian, located in Nova Scotia. Gorgeous, gorgeous Nova Scotia. Going to be visiting there. It was going to be this summer. Now it's going to have to be next summer, but I have family and friends to see out there in Nova Scotia. I'm pretty sure I sorted out my Twitch sub a couple of weeks ago, but Twitch gonna twitch. Ain't that the truth? I like the offset cube section on the board. I thought it was separate. Right? I caught that message. I caught Poppy's message. Board Game Garden says, we know it's bad. Are you a smoker, Board Game Garden? I smoke casually, says DJ Mike V. It certainly helps with social anxiety. I've heard that. Same thing about booze. I mean, it's easier for me to say because I'm completely straight edge. I joke about doing heroin. I never have. And I've never had a smoke and never drank. So of course it's easy for me to sit up on my high horse and judge people who do. And you say, I ain't never going to do that until you actually have a drink and have a smoke. But yeah, I don't have any social lubricants. And the older I get, the more anxious and nervous I get about people and around people. And so I'm sure that a good shot of something would, Shirley Temple, I don't know what booze is, would do me some good. I'm going to Gen Con in the summer. And I'll see a few of you there. And I'd be lying if I said that I wasn't a little bit twitchy about it. Because I don't know. I don't know. There are a few folks on Twitch and Twitter who it's surfaced recently aren't big Ryan fans. And so when I imagine going to Gen Con now, all I can picture is, 50,000 people at a conference, and they're all those people who don't like me. So it feels like I'm walking. But of course, that's like, that's like rejection sensitivity. DJ Mitz, he's quite dumb. I'm a mad scientist Muppet. Should we bring the Muppet on? Focus is wearing a lovely short sleeve. Focus is dressed for summer. Come on over. This is a good opportunity to bring out my zombie Muppet Focus, whose job here at Nights Around the Table is to sit here while I go behind the camera and I'll focus the camera on Focus. And I think that was the very best thing to name this guy, because he doesn't like it when we mention it, but his eyes are a little unfocused. Thank you, Focus. Nothing. I said nothing. Okay, back you go. Whew. Nobody's wearing jammies on their stream. What are you talking about? Great, back to chat. I'm catching up. Smoking cigs or something else, DJ McVie. I'll let him cop to that. The something else is totally fine in my eyes. This is what I don't understand. If you are talking about wacka tobacco, if you are talking about the reefer madness, I don't understand how everyone's like, oh my gosh, man, it's from the earth. It's so healthy. Oh, it helps me with my sciatica, cancer, whatever. It's just to fill in disease here. That's fine. Isn't it? I mean, straighten me out if I'm wrong about this, but isn't it? It's still smoking though, right? Like you're still inhaling smoke into your lungs, aren't you? And isn't that the same problem as we had with cigarettes? Is it that you're inhaling different things and suddenly that smoke is good for? I don't know. Straighten me out. I can see the chat going. I'm still catching up. I'm just in defense of weed. Great. You guys are talking about smoking. Up to put the candle back. Hello. How did Stardew Valley end up? Oh, Almond's asking how Stardew Valley. Right, you were playing Stardew Valley, the Board Game Garden. And that's when you said, I failed. I'm piecing it all together now. It's all coming together. We're both in the region. Yes, the says stretch goals. So game trays and the wash minis are stretch goals. Oh, I see. They added those after I was just like, here's money. That's why I didn't know about them. What we're talking about, Guelph, which my mom always said sounded like a dog having a stroke. Guelph. My mom's mean to disabled dogs. Great. You're discussing amongst yourselves. Is anybody... I only talk to people through the puppet. Depends. There are many ways to use... Yeah, exactly. I mean, I don't know. If you're going to eat it as a gummy bear, that's fine. I don't know if most people do. I guess you can vape it too, but does vaping have health risks? I don't know. Back to this. Sun dropped people and little standy bases to put your little peoples on. We've got colors that are surprising me, white and red, but I thought the player colors were like green and purple and stuff. White, red. Oh, there it is. Purple and black. Okay, it looks like these are our player colors. And we've got different bases. We've got hexagonal ones and circle ones and squirrel ones. That's the technical term. These are nice thick pieces too. These ain't no mansions of madness flimsy pieces of junk either. Let's see if they fit. They look nice. Do they fit? I don't know. Let's get this guy. Ooh, lovely. Ooh, and they've got like a little. This is a user experience thing. They got a little hole in the bottom, so they're easy to just go pop and pop them right out. Lovely. Well done. Well done. And this is such a great mini. I'm sorry I don't have my close-up camera set up so that I can show you this to you better, but it's a mad scientician holding a flask and pointing in the air as mad scientists are wont to do. Great. What I haven't seen so far, and I think this was created before this started becoming more commonplace, common practice, is a sheet telling us how to put everything in the trays. Mind Clash has done that with their recent releases, and I really appreciate it. These are screened wood. I love screened wood. Right? So they're not stickers that you have to apply, they're screened right on there. Some of them are gargoyles, some of them are knights, some of them are also knights. It's a round marker. They're all very nice. They're all very nice. Lovely. Lovely. Well done. Yes, it's still bad for sure. We're talking about smoking again. Smoking weed. But hey, if you need it. Yeah, if you need it, for sure. If you need it. I don't think that I need it. I've heard that marijuana negatively affects people's anxiety. If there's one thing I don't need in my life, it's additional anxiety. I'm so hair trigger sensitive to substances that like have I told you about caffeine yet? Caffeinated Connect. Here's a story about caffeine. I think I've said this before. If I drink Pepsi, I call it poopsie because it goes right through me. Fine. If I drink one Dr. Pepper, I'm okay. If I drink two Dr. Peppers, I will lay awake in bed at night fearing my own death. Like clockwork. I'm like, second Dr. Pepper. And it's got to the point now where I drink a second Dr. Pepper and I'll be like, no, I'll be up all night worrying about my own mortality. Bottoms up. So I don't know why I do it. And if I drink Coke, I found this at the last full-time job I held. This is why I don't hold full-time jobs too often. Coke makes me paranoid. Coke makes me think that everybody's out to get me. And I think that the people in the office are whispering about me or secretly hating me or, just coming up with schemes against me. It's the strangest thing. I don't know what unique ingredient is in each of those. I know that sodium benzoate is unique to Dr. Pepper, and it's not in Coke, and it's not in Pepsi. But I don't know what's going on. These are more screened wood pieces. There's books, there's chalices, there's brains, and there are skulls on plinths. Skulls on plinths. Man, if I had a dime for every board game I had with a screened wooden meeple of a skull on a plinth. Gee whiz. Come on, guys, get creative already. The small picture caption says Ryan and Cheryl. I demand Cheryl. Oh no, does it? Where? Oh, up at the top left? Oh, it does say Ryan and Cheryl. Here's the deal with Cheryl. We're searching for a new slot to stream in. If you joined us in a lot of our past streams, you remember that Cheryl used to stream right after the R&R show on Tuesdays. And we're looking for a new slot now. And I'd love to find a slot that, there's some very exciting components coming up with this next tray, folks. Get ready. We're just looking for a new slot, and then Cheryl will join us. But it's got to be something where she doesn't get in trouble for not working. The last slot was just far enough at the end of the day that it was fine. She'd get all her work done and then stream with me. But she definitely wants to come back, and she will be back. And if you're at Gen Con, you can meet her. And you do want to meet Cheryl because she's as awesome in person as she seems on stream. Here we go. Look at this. Oh my gosh. I don't know if I knew about this. Yeah, I'd steer clear of those drinks then. What do you caffeinate with, Caffeinated Connect? Not all caffeine is created. Woo! Oh. Have you tried this stuff? Woo! It's good. I like it. So one of the things that I've done to cut sugar out of my diet is I take caffeine pills to replace the caffeine I get through soda. I haven't been so good with that recently, but I have been taking 2 walks a day. Anyway, shut up, Brian. Here's the cool thing. Look at that. Look at that embossed logo on that tray lid. Oh my gosh. These are glass jars. How cool is that? Little glass jars with little corks in them. Oh my gosh, what goes in them? I don't know. Nothing? Maybe a cube? I don't know, but that's amazing. That's amazing. Those are cool. And I know you can get like 80,000 of them for, 15 cents on Alibaba, but that's just a cool thing to include in a board game. Woo! Isn't that awesome? DJ Mafie's impressed. Oh. Kevin Canuck sticks with coffee and tea. Now, one thing I was going to say about coffee is like coffee... You don't realize this maybe, and maybe you do because you're smarter than me, which is highly likely. But until you start replacing your drinks with caffeine pills, you might not realize that there are disparate amounts of caffeine in different drinks. So coffee has 4, maybe 5 times the caffeine that soda does. So you'd have to take like 2.5 full caffeine pills. And you only have to take a half a caffeine pill to replace what's in a Coke or whatever. So cool. Yeah, isn't it? And then, hear that jingle jangle? Hear that clink? What do we got? These are Metal Gears. Metal Gear, to name another game. These are awesome, clinkety clink. They look all coppery and cool. Very cool. I don't know if they go back in there, but I'm going to go out on a limb and throw them back in there. And that's not all. Just wait. There's more metal over here, some metal coins. So it's hitting so many things in my brain. Metal coins is another thing where I'm just like, I'm powerless to resist. So this had recesses. This had a cool title. This had metal components. This has glass bottles. It's got so much cool stuff, you guys. And the problem is I can't play it. I was going to... leave the bum out news till the end, but I can't play it. It's app based, and the app isn't quite ready. They're still in the final stages, and everybody's like, they said, we're just going to hang on to the games. We're not going to send them to you until the app is ready. And people were like, send me my game. They went berserk. So they fulfilled it and they sent it out. And so we've got it all. We can touch the things, which I'm very grateful for, but we can't play the game quite yet. Look, it's a goat. It's a bear. I do remember these from the campaign page. More screened, wood. They're thinner than the usual meeple. It's a boar, wild boar. Look at these, man. I'll just steal these and put them in Ark Nova. This is awesome. A little crow or a raven. These are great. These are great. There's a bat and a fox. You want to see them all, don't you? I do. This is I'm going to say cat. This is a frog. I like the way that green sets it apart. Some kind of stag, an owl, a shark. Thank God I'm on the right camera. I was going to look up and go, it's on the right. And a wolf. A shark. Hold on. Wait. One of these things is not like the other. Do you have any specific events planned for Gen Con, attending or hosting? Great question, Bortina. I have never been to Gen Con, so I didn't know the whole thing where it's like buy your pass and then on a certain day, like trying to get your kids into daycare, you got to camp your computer and then it like releases all these events and you got to like buy tickets like for extra dollars every single ticket or else you won't get to do anything at the show. So I looked at that and I kind of I let that miss me because I don't know. And all the things were like, go play Alchemists at the CG booth for $2. I'm like, why would I? Like, I own that and I've played it, and playing games in a conference setting doesn't sound like the most fun thing to me. What I try to do, I've been to PAX Prime before, and I've been to PAX Dev and Paxi, and then some local board game cons. The louder it is, the less I want to play games. So at places where there's like an exhibit show floor, I kind of like to look over people's shoulders. So if you're at Gen Con and it's like I'm creeping on you, I'm not. I just want to watch you play. I want to get a sense of the game for 15 minutes instead of the 2 hours it takes to sit down and play. And I'm also very cognizant of the fact that these board game companies get people and they say, you're going to help with the booth, you're a volunteer today, cool, let me show you. And this is like before the show floor opens, we'll teach you how to play the game. Like right now you got to cram it like it's an exam, and then like bazillions of people come in the door and you got to play that game with them all day long. And I'm very aware of the fact that these booth jockeys might not necessarily know the game well enough to even teach it at the con that day. They're just there for the free pass. I don't know. So my faith in that whole system is just shattered a little bit. But no, I'm not a role playing like tabletop gamer. You may be. So I could see the appeal of wanting to buy a ticket if there was a certain DM that you wanted to have a game session with. I get that, but like no knock against Dice Tower, but it was like pay $4 or $6 or whatever to watch them record their podcast live. And I thought to myself, like, I'm good. I don't know if I would enjoy that too much. And I say this, and I don't know, maybe down the road I'm gonna be doing that. I'm gonna be running those sessions. And if people don't think that that's necessarily going to be a good use of their time, by all means, go do something else. Enjoy your life. You only live once. So cynical, I know. I don't know. There's just certain things that I find enjoyable, and watching a podcast being filmed it's not very high on the list. But I get it. You're in the same room as those personalities that you adore. I get that. I did see a really good panel. I'm going to get in trouble for even mentioning it. Backtrack into the hedge. I was at PAX Prime one year, and the Cards Against Humanity guys were running a session where they were talking about the skill involved in writing jokes for those cards, and they were fielding suggestions from the audience, and they were hilarious and brutal, and the people would like put in joke ideas, and they'd be like, well, here's why that doesn't work with the game for this and this and this and this and this reason, right? And so it opened people's eyes to the fact that, like, you think, and you've seen a lot of imitators of Cards Against Humanity that aren't nearly as successful. It's just because they just don't have the magic formula on them. But these guys do. They're able to say, like, no, that sucks. No, that sucks. You you can't just say tits and it's a Cards Against Humanity card or whatever. So it was neat. It was really eye-opening, and it was really cool that we, got to see behind the, say what you will about Cards Against Humanity. I know lots of people have lots to say about it. But I enjoyed the session, and it was hysterical because when the audience members came up with a card that the guys on the panel were like, oh my gosh, yeah, that works. It was hysterical when they come up with, so they feel the suggestion, they actually turn them into cards. It was a really cool session. But I wouldn't pay extra for it. That's madness. Board Game Garden. Oh, you're talking Board Game Garden. Great. Ryan is going. Yes, Ryan is going. Ryan and Cheryl are going. Your takeaway is that you should cancel your Patreon. Why? Because I don't do weed and I admire Cards Against Humanity? Uh-oh. Oh, dear. I don't know. Ricky Gervais, if you see his... I should be unboxing a board game right now. But Ricky Gervais, if you've seen his most recent comedy special, I like the guy. I'm a fan. Not like a stalk him outside his house kind of fan, but I like his work. Really like his Afterlife series. It was really good. Poignant, I would call it. But in his most recent comedy special, he tells this just like offensive joke off the top of the series. And he says, see, you're laughing because that was an ironic joke. It's not necessarily what I believe, but I tell you, and then you laugh at the wrong thing because you know what the right thing is. That to me is Cards Against Humanity. It's I feel all those guys are very liberal-minded guys. I don't know, I shouldn't say anything else about that game because people will get angry at me. Cards! Look, everybody, it's cards. It's about, I'm bad at estimating amounts, but I would say if you put me in a carnival number of cards guessing game, I would say that there's about 50,000 cards in there. So hopefully they have a rip strip. I don't think they do. Oh, yes, they do. Well, look at what your money gets you. Rip strips on the cards. My gosh. My good golly gracious. My favorite thing to do, says Bortina at Gen Con, is to spend far too much money buying new games. Oh my gosh, you've outed yourself. Oh my god, and I think you're in the minority there, Bortina. Who would side with you with that flagrant, shocking revelation? Just wondering how we might stumble upon you and let you know that there are at least a couple of people at Gen Con that aren't Twitch haters. Oh, that's very nice. I thought about announcing... I don't know how to do this tastefully or tactfully, but I thought about, okay, one year, my thoughts are scattershot. The rip strip doesn't work, by the way. Ask for your money back. This is a travesty. Oh, Patrick Daly on YouTube, who can't see this right now. Thank you, Patrick. If you watch the rerun, good on you, Patrick. When I backed... Double Fine Adventure. That's Tim Schafer's company. And it was the first Kickstarter to break $1 million. He was at PAX Prime. I should show these to you. Actually, I should get up and show these to you. Yeah, I'm going to tell the story. This is a good story. Stick around. You're going to like this one. So he was at PAX Prime that year that I was there, and he just announced that, like, hey, if you backed Double Fine Adventure, cool. We're going to be at like the Hard Rock Cafe on, Friday afternoon at 1. Swing by. And I think he, booked out the cocktail area of the restaurant. He ordered maybe a couple platters of hors d'oeuvres, because he's a high roller like that, and people just got to go and meet him and other members of the team, and he got to thank them, and I think that was great. I'd love to do something similar, except I don't want to have to pay for anyone's hors d'oeuvres. But I'd love to just say, like, hey, if you want to, like, how do you say that without sounding like so conceited? Like, hey, if you want to meet Ryan, $50 for a signed photo. No, I wouldn't do that, obviously, but like, how do you announce, like, hey, how do you humbly say, if you would like to say hello, I'm going to be at this location, this time and place. I don't know how to do that. I've never done that before. I wish I could go, says Omelette, but 2 small children. Yeah, Omelette has young kids. 2 small children at home makes it near impossible. That's right. We have teenagers, so it's just like, here's the number for Domino's. See you later. We're going to do other stuff with them. We're doing other family vacation stuff, and we're being kind, loving parents to them in other ways. But in that way, you're on your own, kids. Don't let the door hit you. And we're driving down too. Oshawa is close enough to Indianapolis. It's an 8.5-hour drive with a 3-hour wait at the border. I don't know how long it's going to be, but that'll definitely slow us down. The hope is to do lunch in Detroit and have some of that. Whenever I go anywhere, I always have to sample their pizza. Detroit, especially any place that has like specific regional pizza. Detroit has, what do they call it? Detroit style pizza, which looks awful, but I want to try it. Cards, I don't want to look at these because I think there will be I'll let you look. I'm going to close my eyes. Here's the cards. Look, here's what they look like. Are you impressed? Tell me in the chat if you think they look great. I know I'm going kind of fast. My thumbs are in the way. I don't know. Were they good? Did you enjoy that? Good looking cards. This deck, the B deck. Again, I don't know how much of this stuff is spoilerable. Daniel Cell battery. I think I didn't spoil anything by looking at that. Do we know what type of game it is yet? Yes, we know that it's a worker placement game. That's the stream, everybody. That's all I know. There are cards. You get the cards. Those cards are your equipment that allow you to do things. What things can you do? Well, let's look in the third and final section of the big box. It's a Monopoly variant. Could you imagine? Oh my gosh, it comes as like, now there are 2 dice. If you roll doubles. Oh no. That's hilarious. Yeah. I wonder if sleevers go crazy when board games have 60 decks of cards that are all different sizes, chasing down all those. Probably. Here's a little 4 VP, 1 VP, 2 VP, 1 VP, and some sort of story on the back. I cannot allow you to suffer alongside me in torment, though my heart burns. I love this. It's like full of like purple prose, Mary Shelley kind of stuff. All of this I've created. I did it all for you, my love. Oh, so romantic. Romance in the broad sense of the term romance, Great. What are these? These are story boxes. There's things in here. Am I allowed to look in one? You lift it up and there's something in there. Hold on. Don't know how to do this. Oh, no. I thought there was something in there. The cost of disease. Yellow fever has struck the village. Any visit to its somber limits forced the young heirs to keep a cloth handkerchief about their mouth and nostrils to protect themselves from the miasma. This seemed the perfect, if macabre, backdrop in which to advance their father's dreadful business. Fun. Components, 7 experiment cards. You know what? I'm gonna I'm going to open one and just briefly, without trying to commit any of this to memory, there's a bunch of tokens. They're cardboard instead of wood. There's one metal thing in here, a special coin, and some more cards, and I'm not going to look. So let's just assume that more of the same is in the other boxes. I know this is an unboxing, but again, I don't know. I don't want to wreck anything. Very hard, by the way, to print a 3D printed insert for Scythe for like the secret stuff in the expansions without figuring out what that secret stuff is. Oh, look, hey! Remember how I said before, I hope that they've got a picture of how it all goes back in the box? Look at that. Boom. And I just mentioned Stonemaier. So just like Stonemaier, they do this. They print it on the side of the box, how everything goes back. Very nice. So, I don't know if you're impressed, but I think this all looks like the bee's knees. I think this looks really cool, especially this tray. One more time, if you're just joining us. Holy monkey, look at that. Look at that. I do have other things, other games to look at if you want to look at some more games. Speaking of Monopoly, I kind of want to play Cape May. Is Cape May Monopoly-like? No way. Is it? Sleeve, the answer is yes. Necrodata, you gotta have like piles of like, just like, you know, because it's like, oh, this game uses cards that are this size, and there's 4 of them. So you go and buy a pack of 100 sleeves because that's how they come. And now what are you supposed to do with the other 96 of them? Great. Quick solo game. Yeah, right now. Of this, I can't play this. The app is not ready. It'll be a while before I can get my little mitts on this, but probably Cheryl and I will put it through its paces on a stream. I don't know. Again, I don't know if it's the kind of thing that we can wreck for you by playing it on the stream. If you know more about the game, please tell me. I would like to know. I would like to know where the things go. I'm just going to put them in on messy styles right now. That does not go there. Hold on. Why didn't I use the image I just revealed to myself? Experiment card tray. Yes. Okay. Right. Fantastic insert. It is a fantastic insert. Oh, man. Oof. The feel. Like I said, there are many imitators of game trays, though few do it very well. And one of the things that sets game trays apart is the just the sturdiness and the thickness. So if you get the Terraforming Mars big box, it has like imitation game trays, but they're just like really flimsy feeling. Don't feel as good. And even the Anachrony big box, so I think Mindclash paid game trays. I'm going to open these up and put them in. They paid game trays and then for Tricarian, and then they didn't pay game trays for Anachrony. And just the Anachrony trays just don't feel as nice. They're a little bit flimsier, a little bit cheaper. Feel bad that says Ryan and Cheryl up there. Should have noticed that. Darn it. All right. I have more games, like I say, more games coming. Hold on. I have a tremendous amount of sleeves and bags of all sizes. Here's a good question. No, I shouldn't even ask this because I know the answer. I guess the story starts out with, I'm dumb, and I was going to say, like, when you take... This is interesting. There's different cuts for different pieces to fit in a certain way, but I can't quite tell. Do these things go in here in a fancy way? Hold on, they might. Oh, this thing, yeah, I saw this thing. So this thing goes here, it fits beautifully, and it has finger holes. One of the upcoming episodes of Bits Please that I'm going to be doing, Bits Please, is going to be all about how to make inserts finger friendly if you're designing them, and that includes finger holes. I don't know how the rest of these go in here. I don't know. That's not interesting. I'm gonna do it later. Anyway, cool looking game. Can't wait till the app's done. They're working on it. They're working their probably little tails off trying to get it ready because they don't want to get angry calls and letters. Let's put this aside for now. What's next? Did you just watch that whole thing? Oh, hey, to 100% this video, click the badge to subscribe, and then click the bell to get notifications when I've got new stuff.